they pick a carry that doesn't just die instantly as soon as he leaves,
Sure.
right? Then it is a hero that fights, and they have Ember Spirit instead of the Void Spirit this time, who's a hero that loves to fight. Clockwork and him have the ability to go in with the hook shot. Like even for Queen of Pain, Clock enables kill threat on her. If you land the hook shot, you push her back with cogs, she gets changed by Ember. That should be enough damage to take her down. Hopefully.
I mean, you do have kill potential this time. However, obviously Motivate.Trust, since they already have the core of their draft being Wraith King, they just went and countered that mid lane. Or that's the attempt.
Yeah, I think we'll see a similar strat to last time where they just make sure they're able to fight as well as they can on the other heroes while Jackie just farms up and becomes that win condition.
Sure. What other support are you looking to enable this then?
They could probably pick something tanky that doesn't die to Clock like Ogre. Or us. Ooh,
That's nice and tanky.
that's a hero.
Yep.
There's quite a lot of Earth Spirit players out there that just have it as their most played hero on in competitive, and then just haven't played it for months because the hero is like not seen as that good anymore. So I'm actually really hyped to see it this game.
Does this mean Lion 5, which actually Motivate does a lot as well. They don't have any problems with flexing it.
And they've always played a lot of the Earth Spirit, so that's kind of a comfort pick for Q. I do feel like Execration will feel okay about this, because this is like they've got a much better game for the Clockwork in terms of the early game in the lane. You have that kind of melee hero to kind of run at and just get, you feel like you can do something rather than just watch him around a leap away from you and throw arrows and outrange you. Ooh.
Okay, interesting. It's a good Wraith King answer.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You're looking at this and you're like, okay, they've got burst damage, so it's not like the freest of Timbersaw games. Like with the Quap Lion, they can, mid game come and gank and kill him. But as far as the lane goes, once you get that kind of early second, third point in reactive armor, you should have a pretty good time and not be dying there.
I think the best part about this pick is that it can be left alone, which means that Grimstroke and Clock can fully commit themselves to helping Ember Spirit's game.
Yeah. And it's Ember versus Quap, so this is one of those mid-matches where there's a lot of pressure on the Ember, but there's so much focus on those runes.
Yeah. And on the Timber side, you're also facing a Lion 5, not the best lane counter to you. And Lion not being able to get an early blink or whatever means less disables for you. Actually, a lot of it, they're taking advantage this time of the weaknesses in the Motivate.Trust draft, something we didn't see last time. So I'm liking this better.
Yeah, I believe with Hood, Timbersaw should just be able to be free. Like, I don't think there's enough burst damage from Lion and Earth Spirit to threaten him. You're going to have to bring Queen of Pain up. Obviously, they have another pick, which could bring out the damage needed to kill Timbersaw. But right now, it looks like Timber's going to be really happy top, and I think a lot of his focus is going to be on all the other lanes.
Right. Last time we talked about the last pick, and you thought that Luna was a bit lackluster, all things considered. What would you like to see? Are you concentrating on the lane, whatever Motivate.Trust picks, or are you looking for the core-to-core matchup once again?
Luna was okay last time. The only problem was just that Clock felt like a very weak 5 with her. So it's hard to find a carry that's going to be able to 1v2 per se, because yes, Earth Spirit is a roamer, he might leave to mid, especially towards the later runes, but I feel like in the recent years, the trend has been more that Earth Spirit stays in the lane, because roaming's just not as effective as it used to be.
Yep.
So if Clock goes to pull, we have the same issue as last time. They went with Pango onto Luna, Mirana went on as well. This time, same thing. Earth Spirit's just going to roll on your carry. It needs to be someone that doesn't mind that happening. Maybe a Life Stealer, I'm not sure. Could be okay. You're always a threat. I feel like there's just a lot of kill potential on Motivate.Trust in general, so it's kind of scary.
I don't mind the Lifestealer idea, actually.
Yeah, and I think that's a similar idea with the Monkey King, which they ban out. I was looking at maybe Troll as the other option alongside the Monkey King.
Yeah.
Not really sure how good Troll is or what they teams where they kind of rank it. But Darkseer makes an appearance, so that's a hero that can put a lot of pressure onto quite a number of carries and can make Execration have to maybe consider a few different options, although they only have 20-ish seconds here to decide.
Do you think they would Morphling into this, or is it banned?
It's not bad.
It's there.
There's also what?
There's a Lifestealer.
Oh,
Well
I'm
done.
good with that.
And something interesting about Darkseer, that last time you mentioned that because of Ember, they couldn't pick PL or the Illusion heroes. So this time, Darkseer is that person that does that, that makes it so that you're not really considering it, plus obviously the other heroes in the team that already make it less great. So, pretty good draft, I'd say, by Execration. I didn't actually fix a lot of their mistakes from last time.
I'm pretty happy with Execration. I don't think Lifestealer is going to die when Clockwork is doing its thing. I think Timbersaw is just going to be super self-sustaining. I like it a lot, but I like what they're doing with Motivate.Trust too, enabling Wraith King with Darkseer. fighting with these 4 heroes.
I can see Q doing a lot this game though. Like on his Earth Spirit, I feel like there's a lot of lanes where he can have an impact, including the Timbersaw. I think they can kill him at those like kind of level 3 to 5 stages. When you look at Earth Spirit with like a Wraith King Stun, Earth Spirit roll, and a Lion, like to me there is enough damage there before that hood comes out. So I think there's plays he can make in the safe lane as well as the mid lane, of course. So I could see him having a pretty big impact because he's just going to look at his offlane and be like, I can't really do a whole lot. I'll pull some. It's a Darkseer. You're going to pull some waves, get Darkseer some levels, and then just go roam the map. So I look at Q's Earth Spirit to kind of be the one for Motivate.Trust to kind of carry the tempo in the early game.
Right, so this time we actually see relatively equal drafts, mitigated some of the issues from last time, but it still comes down to execution. And last time Motivate.Trust looked at executed a little bit better, but we're going to have to see what happens in the actual game. And to narrate this wonderful experience, it's going to be MLP Dota and JohnXfire.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are into game number 2 between Execration and, of course, Motivate.Trust Gaming, and it is MLP Dota and JohnXfire. John, you heard the panel. The panel was saying they liked the draft better for Execration this time around. They think it's a bit more even. You seem to have a few choice words in the background. Jonathan, do you want to talk to us about it?
Yeah,
What
I
is it?
felt like
What don't you like?
like Motivate.Trust had a better draft. I don't know. You and I were having a talk about the clockwork. I think Sheepo raised some good points as well. Like, I don't know what you hope to really do too much. I do think the Lifestealer pick does kind of make that clockwork make a bit more sense. You've got the Infest plays with a hook shot down line. You can be aggressive. You have a lot of mobility with the Timbersaw and Ember to back you up. So you can look to dive early and kind of be aggressive. We have to really see that from Execration. I think when it comes down to lanes, you've still got Darkseer plus Earth Spirit lane for Masa and Q. So it's the roll up, it's the Iron Shells on top of someone chasing them down. Once you hit level 3 for Masa, you're just going to be able to melt through the Lifestealer. The lane matchup for Lifestealer is not amazing. You're sure you might have Rage. That's a long cooldown to commit. It's 18 seconds across each level. You tend to kind of skip it for your first 3-4 levels anyway. I think most Lifestealers, if they can, just don't level up at all until after laning phase. So it's still not going to be an amazing time for Nando, and I think that's a point of concern. Like, you do want to be aggressive when you have this many infest targets, but that means your armlet's going to have to be up on time, and you have to be ready to get running ASAP after laning.
100% agree with that. I mean, we'll see what happens, though. I mean, Execration after that first game, of course, probably coming back a lot stronger and a lot more determined to try and force us to a game number 3 against Motivate.Trust. So we do have a 2-for-2 trade in the Bounty Rune, so a very even start between these two teams. All right, we may as well talk about the bot lane, where you are going to see Boom Booey running his way down on the Lion. Of course, he's going to be there with Jack Boys on the Wraith King once again. And Carlo on the Clockwork, and of course you do have Kimizu on that Timber. I think an interesting point that they raised as well, I think it was Sheepo, who kind of pointed out that they've given the Wraith King over to Jackie again. Do you agree with that, Jonathan? Even I was kind of like, well, are they really going to give this back over to Jackie?
Yeah, it's... I don't know, even though the lane matchup for Kimizu is a little bit better, you can punish with Whirling Debt and kind of hold your lane, and you can kind of solo that lane quite nicely once you're level 4. It's still not amazing. I think that's still going to be concerning for Execration. I think Jack Boys is still going to be comfy in the matchup, and you're still going to be able to build up just fine.
That's fair. So we are seeing a bit of a pull over here by Carlo. Bit of a cheeky block on the camp that was watered anyway, but just playing the acting game. We are looking at a bit of harassment top lane as well. You've got Vincenzo and Q going at it on the Earth Spirit and Grimstroke. Of course, Masaros just trying to secure his own levels right now, but he'll come over and give the Iron Shell over to Q. And this is another thing we've kind of briefly mentioned in the back, that this combination of Earth Spirit Darkseer, it's quite disgusting. Especially once you have that level 3 mark on Masaros. Things do tend to get a lot scarier here if you are Execration.
That's when you can really build up, you can really get aggressive, roll on top of Execration, force out Nando. Again, for Lifestealer, you do have some sustain with your Feast, and you can kind of fight back with a Ghoul Frenzy, but you can't overcome that early damage, and I think that's something you'll always have to watch out for. We're already seeing Masa off to a really good start here.
Now on to Vincenzo they go, vacuum back, but he's going to Fairy Fire and be fine, as now Nando chasing down Cube and won't go all the way. Leave him be. Needs to get back for that creep wave anyways. He has plenty of creeps coming into his tier 1 tower. This is another one of those strengths about the Darkseer, is just being able to push waves constantly into the tier 1 as, well, Gacha Boy mid lane, John. Very, very low in HP. Kind of needs a rune for himself, but also needs his bottle up. He's going to get neither, but Bob is going to get rolled on here by Q, and it looks like Bob's in trouble now. They've got the Shadow Strike there, and Bob will be the first blood. Gotcha boy, he'll take it, and we've seen Q on this Earth Spirit before, John. He does tend to rotate fairly early on, and there you see it happening.
And that's the beauty of that Earth Spirit, right? Pick up here for Motivate.Trust. They can get aggressive early. They can leverage the early damage Gotcha Boy has. He has opted to go for Shadow Strike and Scream of Pain. No value points in Blink. So it's a bit harder for him to contest Rune, but you get the damage, you can get the rolling. And all the lanes right now for Motivate.Trust are looking great. In fact, Kimizu has to be a bit cautious. Sure, he has the damage and the level 2 reactive, but there's a lot of damage coming through from Boomboy and Jackboys with a double stun lineup again. I think when we went into the draft here, Mike, we were expecting maybe the Grimstroke off lane with Kimizu, so you could maybe play with Whirling Death and Chain and try to be aggressive that way. But we're seeing the issue again for Carlo. Like, he's on the clock, he's got level 2, he's not really able to do too much to contribute there.
He certainly just can't do anything. Carlo just kind of running around in circles, wondering what he can get done. No real lanes for him to gank up right now, apart from maybe the top lane, but even that's quite difficult against the Darkseer Earth Spirit. The mid lane, Gotcha, he's always going to have the blink up. Bob doesn't even have any levels and chains right now on the Ember, so you don't have a great way of locking down the swap. He's going to make his way back down to the bot lane instead. They're going to try on to Boom Bowie. A nice Earth Spike, though, from our Lion will allow him to get out scot-free. In the meantime, top lane, they do end up losing Vincenzo. Massa, he's quite low, but Nando, he can't keep up the chase. He has to let the Darkseer go. And I thought maybe we'd see a rotation from the mid lane, but that's not happening either. Bob's sticking around, just trying to secure his own XP up.
Oh, no.
And top lane, they have made the jump in. Nando, I mean, at one point he's the aggressor, the next minute he's the victim here for Motivate. Very, very bad news so far for Execration.
It's just that level spike, Mike. Level 4 on Massa, level 4 on Q. They can just leverage the Iron Shell, jump right in. The mobility on your Earth Spirit allows you to gap close real well. Massa is low, but he's always got Surge to disengage, and he's already off to a really smooth start. Double null up for a little bit more regen stats up as well. There is a rotation mid from Carlo, but again, it's a level 2 clock. Like, how do you lock in a Quap in that rotation? It's just not the same impact as Q right now.
Very hard as bot lane. A bit of a jump onto Kimizu, but he's feeling very confident right now on the Timber. Level 4 marks are very, very tanky, but you've still got to be careful because Jackie, he's got that crit up. They'll get the Earth Spike off Kimizu. Have you gone too far? Not quite. He's got the stick charges. Back Boom Bowie now. Eventually going to be caught out here by Carlo. That should be the first kill of the game for Carlo, unless Boom Bowie can make some magic happen, and he does. Earth Spike can just walk away. Carlo, he cannot catch a break. It's Vincenzo. Well, he's found Q now. He'll be okay, Q, not going to pressure too hard.
And that was particularly good timing from Boomboy, Mike. His courier was coming in with boots. Came in right as we broke the cogs, walked out, had his stick up. The charges were enough to kind of make him live through the bump back on the cogs, and you can't even kill off a simple lunge. So Execration still not finding a grip on this game yet. And because Boomboy walked back, he can TP mid, refill bottle. Gotcha Boy has 6. They've got the Sonic Wave if they want to play here.
Well, we're going to jump in onto Bob, trying to get through that Flame Guard. Boom Bowie, though, unable to get close enough. Land a stun on the Ember. They'll start chipping away towards the north. They've got Carlo now on that clockwork. Slow is there from Q. Gotcha. He'll commit the Sonic Wave. Why the hell not? Let's make sure they get the kill. Get that spell on cooldown. That'll be the 4th kill of the game so far for Motivate. Execration have yet to find one themselves.
It's just the aggression. It's not coming out. Like, you could be aggressive with a Grimstroke and Clockwork support duo. I don't think they have the best anchors to play around. I think Bob is probably your best bet. Maybe if you get the Grimstroke bot, you can play with Kimizu as well, but he doesn't have any value points in the chain. So you can't even leverage that chain in with the Inkswell on top of you. They will try now. Vincenzo shows himself here.
Yeah, Inkswell's out. Kimizu, he's thinking about diving, but the stun won't land. Jackie now, he'll pop the skeletons out. Earth Spike will be there from Boom Bowie. Kimizu is dropping quite low now. He does have to be a little bit wary as Nando top lane ends up going down to Masaros, and now Kimizu is still being chased down. He will eventually be left alone. They had to rotate another support down just to make sure he survives. Like I said, John, in the meantime, while all that was happening, Nando was left alone top lane, ends up dropping a 2nd time so far in this game. It feels like for the 2nd game in a row. every lane's just gone the way of Motivate.Trust. They try to make the jump onto Jackie now, they might get something, but he's got the reincarnate up. He's got time for a secondary life, and Q's gonna rotate in. They might find a clockwork here. And they will. Carlo, he's gone. In fact, roll forward. They've got Vincenzo. They are completely ignoring this Timber Saw. Now they'll turn right back around, but it won't matter. They won't bother with the Timber. They got what they came for.
It's already a massive set of wins coming out here for Motivate.Trust. Forcing the tri-lane bot, opening up the top lane for Masa to just run around. And this is worrying. Masa's level 6, Nando's got a value point in range, level 2 now. But you can't sustain yourself against this Darkseer anymore. Triple null up, mana regen through the roof, along with the arcane boots. And Iron Shell level 3, there's just a lot of presence here.
Oh, Gacha able to take the kill there onto Vincenzo as Q is going to drop at the very least. So Bob, he gets something. Onto Gacha he goes. No lockdown, but it won't matter because he's got plenty of damage. Bob able to pick up a double. Considering the laning phase he's had, he desperately needs that XP and gold. Be very happy about the kill onto the Quap.
An important kill for the Ember. Again, for Execration here, Mike, it does feel like Bob's going to be taking that playmaking role here. He has to be super active on the Ember. They have to play around with a hook shot once it's up on Carlo. Your follow-up will be the Ember. They can play it with Inkswell as well. And with the phase boots up, Bob can hit pretty hard. So let's see if they can find something here in the jungle with the smoke.
They're going to find Jackie. He's got no reincarnate at the moment. Inkswell not going to land, but they've got the chains out, and they should have plenty of damage with Bob around. Just spamming those Sleight of Fist out. Remnant forward. Boo is going to be there to try and save the day, but it's not enough. Bob gets him in the end with a Sleight of Fist. Jackie, he will drop for the first time this game. In the meantime, Motivate.Trust will push down that top tier 1 tower, but I'm sure they're not too happy with their carry dying.
It's a big kill for Execration to find, and you know, you and I were having that conversation, Mike. We wanted Execration to pressure Jackie more, and they are. Jackie's off to a bit of a slower start. Yeah, his farm is behind Bob's right now, so it's good news for Execration. They do trade the tower top. Looks like they have taken bots. It's going to be an even trade so far. Kimizu has to kind of watch himself. You don't have that Hood of Defiance yet on the Tim, so double Iron Shell, it's still going to be a lot of damage onto that Timber Saw.
We're going to ignore him. Instead, they've got vision on the supports, and they roll right in with a great magnetized boulder smash out from Q. You couldn't ask for much more for Motivate. So easy picking off those two supports, and now Kimizu, he's not feeling too safe himself. Again, you've got the double Iron Shells, but you've also got Gacha Boy with that Sonic Wave up. They can make the jump in on the Timber. It should be an easy enough kill, and now Kimizu, he does show himself. They move in. Silence is there with the boulder smash out. Do they have enough, though? He's still alive, but in the end, the Sonic Wave's there. Bob, can he find something for his team? He'll chase down Masaros. Surge eventually is going to wear out. The hook shots there from Carlo. He's landed onto Gacha Boy, but they're not dead yet. In fact, the Earth spikes out. Boom Booey. He locks them down, and Bob's going to drop. Carlo, he's stuck now in dire straits. He'll be the second to go down. And there's just nothing they can do about it. They just get nothing done at this top lane. Motivate, they are cleaning up everything.
And you have to appreciate Motivate.Trust's counterplay there. Like, Masa turns around, gets the Vac into the cogs, and kind of forces back the cogs as well. So, Gacha Boy's not stuck inside. He blinks out. He gets pushed back by the cogs, creating more distance, and just all lines up for Motivate.Trust. That was Execration's reveal of the level 6 on our Clockwork Mike. And we talked about aggression. Execration has to play with the mobility on the Ember and Clock, and they did attempt it. It's just... It just doesn't feel like they're taking the proper angles. They're diving really deep. They're not finding the big targets they want in that engagement. They might lose more.
Yeah, Vincenzo again being caught out. Q just so active so far as Masaros, but he didn't have the vacuum up. So 1 second off cooldown as now Carlo's going to try and punish Q. And with the battery assault, there should really be no way out, but he will boulder smash away. Punk pushback is there. Roll going to be blocked off by Bob. And Q will eventually go down. Bob able to pick up the kill. They don't quite get Masaros, he'll be fine, but again, as Execration right now, you're looking for pretty much any kill you can get.
Yeah, he's just looking to build up on the Ember Spirit, build momentum in that hero, keep taking down whatever you can find with the aggression you have with Hookshot and the mobility on the Ember. They're going to keep that aggression up. I do worry about leaving Jack Boys alone. Farming, like, sure, Nanda right now is keeping up pace on Lifestealer, but the Raid King does farm a lot faster with the Skeletons up. So Jack Boys might be able to leverage that lead, He is farming into the Desolator as well, and once that's up, we know Jackie loves to play aggressive with his team once he has that minus armor running. So we'll see if that's something that Execration can continue to pressure at raking, but there are smokes out from both teams now.
A nice smoke though towards Masaros. You love getting that Darkseid down, just slow down that Axe timing. The hook shot and the Inkswell there, this should be very easy pickings for Execration. They'll get it. Masaros giving quite a bit of gold away there to Bob.
Oh, Nando?
Oh, Nando, that's not the trade you want. But they might just lose him, and they do. Gacha Boy has the Orchid up now. The rage was not there in time. So I thought the kill on Masaros, great news for Execration, but then they end up losing Nando on the other side of the map. And then it doesn't look so great anymore.
Yeah, it's still an important kill for Bob to find, but Nando, again, Lifestealer just doesn't win that farm war.
And now Kamizu's jumped in, but he gets orchided up immediately. So the silence will wear out in the end. Sonic Wave committed, but it's not going to be anywhere near enough. Everyone survives with Vincenzo now. Gets jumped by Gacha Boy. Another kill to go the way of the Quab, as Bob is still trying to chip away at Motivate.Trust with these sleight of fists. Won't really be able to fully commit and secure a kill. To Motivate, they still get something for their commitment.
They find a support kill. They're building up their lead and Motivate.Trust though, Mike, with every single kill. 14-5, 3K lead their way. Gacha Boy again, number 1, setting the pace here for Motivate.Trust, just really leveraging that Orchid to a very high standard. And it's just down to what angles you have to fight. For Execration, their support initiation, hookshot, it's an ultimate. You know, it has a longer cooldown than the roll from Q, so in comparison, Motivate.Trust can keep jumping in with the Earth Spirit every single time. They don't have to wait a minute between ganks, whereas Execration might have to take this more... it's not a slow tempo, but definitely something that they have to wait for every single time. They need time to reset, to get a hook shot back up, to get the angles going, and it just allows Motivate.Trust to run this map a lot faster. So I think Execration, we talked a little bit about the Lifestealer as well in that factor. They haven't been able to play with the Infest. They do have the armlet up on Nando, but that might not be enough. He's looking to work towards Sanj first. Maybe by then you can kind of play with the Infest plays and just the hook shot forward, have the Ember jump on top. But they have to kind of get that space going now. They are going to push in mid. Motivate.Trust are in position to defend though.
Yeah, they're going to try and use Kamizu as bait, but there is going to be the rotation out from Motivate. Who do they want to aim first? They'll try it onto Kamizu. Kamizu so far so good. They'll try to tank through all this magic damage. Soulbind is there, but the vacuum back. Kamizu, he's getting low, but not quite low enough. No, he does go down. Gacha Boy able to pick him up a Bob. He's cleaning up the supports. Both Q and Boom Booey gone. They even got the reincarnate of Jackie. The Gacha, gonna be careful as Nando, he wants to keep the fight up. And in the end, you lost your off lane, but you found 2 supports as a trade. It doesn't really seem too bad overall for Execration.
Not the worst. It allows them to, again, build up in Bob. They're getting their snowball factor in with the Ember. The Maelstrom's not too far off, and we talked about that in the last game, Mike, where Ember Spirit has this early timing with Orb of Corrosion, with Phase Boots and Maelstrom, even just a Javelin is enough, so Bob can kind of leverage that physical output at the moment. And as long as Bob is ready to go, you do have something to play with here on Execration's side. It's still a bit of a slower go for the rest of the heroes. And Kimizu's still lagging a bit behind in that Tim. And they kind of need to have the Timbersaw just be able to shove in a lane and force a response out and Motivate.Trust, because it's not happening. They can just smoke up here.
Oh God, he backs off at just the right moment as Carlo's way off the mark with a hook shot. The rotations are coming in from Execration. They want to try and fight this one out. Carlo is still fine. They're trying to go after the Grimstroke instead. Vincenzo, no, he's not good. Gacha, he's going to be able to finish the job off as now Bob is being targeted by Q. Unable to get the silence off in time. Instead now Gacha, he's been chained up, but not quite enough damage yet to finish off the Queen of Pain. It's towards the north. Nando now does at least pick up Boom Booey. But Jackie wants this. He wants that life stealer and they've got him. Double silence is out. Voice line's committed. Nando, however, no, he does pick up the urn. Still the fight continues here onto Masaros, but it doesn't seem like they have enough as Q. He is not done yet. This Earth Spirit, he just keeps going for his team. Q has just been so aggressive this game. Motivate, even if Execration are having a better game than last time around, they have not slowed down.
It's just back to that skill timing, Mike, right? Like, Earth Spirit just can roll and roll and roll as long as the rocks are available. A Clockwork only gets one shot with a hook, then you have to wait a minute, kind of reset in that minute to look for the aggression, whereas Motivate.Trust can keep running and gunning. They have this item spike up on Masa now, Mike. Ags is up, Iron Shell with plus 275 HP, so minor healing coming through, more Iron Shell spam coming through, more damage at this point. Just a very scary time for Execration. They have to watch that aggression as Motivate.Trust are still ready to go.
It looks like they're ready for the smoke though, John. Execration maybe have a bit of knowledge as to what's going on as the scan is there. Hookshot though is going to be out. They found Garter. It's a great way to start if they can take him down. Cogs pushback. They'll barely get a thump of Bob. He's also dropped on the Ember. Now Nando kind of stuck with just so many heroes surrounding him. They don't have Jackie around to help out, but they may not need it. With all this Iron Shell damage from Masaros, they'll get rid of Kimizu. Execration, it was such a great start, but Bob ends up dying on the Ember, and it just ends up being a direct trade in the end.
Yeah, and you win out on Motivate.Trust. Like, even though you trade your mids, you found the offlane, you found another support, you're still building up here on your key heroes. The Ags timing of Masa, again, very early here. He can just focus in now onto his Blink, or maybe Guardian Greaves if he wants to sustain. The team fights are lining up really nicely for Motivate.Trust, whereas for Execration, this is it's just a lot slower coming out from Kimizu. Like, we need our Timbersaw to be that front line. You need him to be able to just take control of the lane and run it down.
Carlo, very far forward here on this clockwork, but it looks like he's actually juked them out. Gacha, he did not see him through the fog, so he's lost him. Carlo, he's out of it. Just fine.
Counting his lucky stars. I think they expected him to hook away. So they were like, alright, he's probably way gone now, maybe back at the creep wave, and is safe. They are still keeping presence out, though. I think Q might be able to just figure out that someone's still playing here. It's still no backup for our Earth Spirit, so Carlo's going to be able to play a bit greedier. The lead is still big for Motivate.Trust, Mike. 7k up. I mean, you are seeing the farm issues of Lifestealer versus Raid King. It's not a huge gap, but Jack Boyce definitely has a nice lead, and even Masteros is keeping up nicely as well on his Darkseer. He has a lot of gold in the bank. Again, could go for the fast mech or the blink straight up. Looks like he's going to bank it. It's just, there you go. Blink up. So Darkseer can just blink that wall, and again, that just simplifies the initiation for Motivate.Trust. Earth Spike follow-up, Boulder Smash follow-up, everything's there now for Motivate.Trust.
Oh, absolutely. It just seems to only get worse for Execration, especially with this Darkseer having such an early Ags blink timing. Carlo at least is going to be in position to try and tank the gank, but instead they found Vincenzo, and that's the target they love to get started on. As Masaros will claim that kill with the Iron Shell. Motivate, you know they want a bit more. Q, he's been on fire so far in this Earth Spirit, trying to find another target. Instead, Gacha, he's going to find Bob, gets the Orchid off. Instead, they'll run right into Carlo. Massa is still around to try and help out. The kick away on the clock and the roll right back at us. Now Carlo, he's out of position. Hookshot away. Is it going to be enough? It will be. They do have the Sonic Wave, but they are unwilling to commit just from the clockwork. But instead now they found Bob with the double silencers out. This time around they'll find him. There's your Sonic Wave there from Gacha and Carlo and Nando now. They just need to run because Gacha, he's still having a look around. He won't commit, but you'd be happy with that Bob pickoff anyway. They'll head right into that mid-tier 1 and just take even more from Execration.
Actually a bit surprised that the mid-tier 1 is still standing from Execration. I didn't realize Motivate.Trust hasn't really focused on the push aspect as compared to the last game where they took all the tier 1s early on. This opens up Roshan if they want to go. This is around that Rosh timing anyway with the Desolator up, but Motivate.Trust just wants to keep the aggression. They smoke up again in Execration. No hook shot for a few seconds. Gonna be a bit scary for them. And they've lost control of their jungle, but they do have wards at least to spot out. And they will manage to get Nando out in time, so they can't lose anything more here.
Mid lane, Kimizu, we've seen how fast he melts with these Iron Shells, and well, they're all right back in now with the Spirit Vessel out. And you look at that damage, John. Just have a look at that damage. 3 Iron Shells there with Gacha Boy Q and Masaros. It is not fun to fight into that.
Yeah, it's just so much melt. Like, you have the Hood of Defiance, it's just not enough, and for the most part he gets chain stunned, so he can't even get the barrier up to block some of it. Into the Roche they go. There is a hook shot ready to go on Carlo, so you could try to make a brave play, but that Roche melts way too fast with the Mind's Armor, and the Iron Shells coming through here.
He's still got time. There's another rocket flare in just a second, but no, he's just a tad too late. Now he's out of position. Carlo, Gonna avoid the roll, but now Jack Boys right on top. Get the job done, no problem.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
24 to 9 now, 11k net worth advantage. Aegis up on Motivate.Trust. I gotta ask you, John, how does Execration come back into this game? Because I tell you, the last few team fights we've been watching just have not gone their way.
They need to use some of the wards they have. They have some aggressive vision. They need to get a good jump in, and they need to commit like 3 heroes. So it has to be a combination with Bob.
Oh, Q is too aggressive this game. I mean, this is just not fair. This Earth Spirit, it's too much. Timizu goes down as well. This is the Earth Spirit dream right here, Jonathan. When you've got a team that's farmed up and you can actually do something with them. It's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's just ready to go and Motivate.Trust. Again, there's no need for resets here. Their biggest ult is to wait for is really what? Magnetize, maybe Reincarnation, but you're level 18 now. That's not long cooldown as well. And just keep running and gunning. The Sonic Wave just feels like a bonus at this point from Gotcha Boy. It doesn't even feel necessary with the jumps. And Execration, they're losing a lot of map space. Back to what you asked me, like, what does Execration need to do? They need to play as at least, actually, they need all cores to actually play around, right? Play with that mobility. Play with the Ember Spirit's ability to jump in. Play with the Infest on Nando, onto the Timber, onto the Ember, or the Clockwork. And just try to isolate someone in the backline, get an easy kill, get the numbers up, and run down. I think your best target might be maybe Masa or Gotcha Boy. Like, you might be able to handle them, but they're so tanky. I don't know if they have the burst damage to even make that kind of play work, but that's what your lineup's geared for. So you would hope that you could at least take care of one of the cores when you have that jump in.
Oh, jump in, Gotcha, just so tanky and just so ballsy, really, as he's already got Vincenzo and they've already got Carlo. He just blinks into the high ground. No regard for human life whatsoever. You kind of said they may be able to go after Gotcha, but I don't think they can kill Gotcha Boy right now. I don't think it's possible.
Yeah, he's just way too tanky. Like, he even has the BKB for protection anyway, so the magical burst up front, it's not gonna line up, and they just go again.
Look at the roll. The orchid out, the roll in. The armor toggles are there, but Nando, he cannot sustain himself. Motivate.Trust. In fact, everyone today's just been speedrunning games, apparently. Motivate, they'll move into the mid-barracks at the 24.5-minute mark. Execration. You do have some decent high ground defense there with Bob and of course Vincenzo. The problem is there's just been such aggressive plays from Motivate. But they do find Jackie. They get one life, they'll try for a second here with the hook shot, the cogs out, but Jackie will happily oblige for the team fight. Just right back in onto Carlo. They've even got Gotcha Boy there. They'll get another kill for themselves. That seems like a fair trade to me, John. Reincarnation for a clockwork kill.
Yeah. Nice win coming out from Motivate.Trust. And you know what, Mike? You know you're having a good Earth Spirit game when you've got that BKB up. So Q is just ready to keep diving in. Nothing to stop our Earth Spirit. And Execration, they can't get Mega Creep yet. You know, they've got the bot tier 1 to protect them. Top is kind of open for Motivate.Trust if you want to play there, and they still have a minute and a half on the Aegis. So they can look for that opportunity. We'll see. They're still camping around mid, maybe looking for a straggler to pop out first.
They're waiting. Want that mid lane, Nando. Oh, the jump is there. The Hex is out. They've got him again. Not again. Not poor old Nando. Onto the high ground they go. Top tier 3 tower. Easy pickings for Motivate. Of course, Nando has no buyback available. We are only 26 minutes in. You don't quite expect the high ground to come. That'll be a second lane of barracks here for Motivate.Trust, unless Execration can find a way to slow this down. It's not looking very likely though, I'll tell you. Jackie, he's got the reincarnation back up. Q's already rolling back in front of the target. They won't quite be able to get Bob this time around, but they've got the top racks. That's really what they want.
Yeah, they clean up. 2 lanes of super creeps coming up. It's gonna make it a lot tougher for Execration to play that defense game. Again, Mega Creep still blocked off. Bot tier 1 still stands, but this allows Motivate.Trust to just basically control nearly the entire map. Top jungle's opened up for them, triangle's opened up. They've got the offensive wards to back that up as well, Mike. And for Execration, this game is just really tough. I don't think their high ground defense is particularly strong as well. It's not like they've got Black Hole. It's not like they've got Ravage or Arena, anything with AoE to kind of lock people down in tight spots. It's still the pickoff game.
Lock you. Right in again. Onto the Timber. Kimizu. He knows he can't survive through this. Or maybe he can. He's got the Lotus Orb out. They do get the silence in the end. Earthspike is there. Lock him down. Take him out. Kimizu's gone. Hookshot out from Carlo and Nando. They do at least get Boom Booey. But Jackie, he's happy to oblige. He's already got Carlo down. Nando gets himself out, luckily with the TP.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
You still even force a buyback there from Vincenzo. Motivate, they're not looking to slow down at all. Bot tier 1's already gone. They're on to the tier 2, I'm sure, very, very soon. You might just go high ground again here, John.
Yeah. You don't have Aegis and more in Gotcha Boy, but it doesn't really matter. Jack Boys is just doing the frontline work anyway. They have the Satanic finished up on Nando. That means, again, he doesn't have buyback. The Satanic has to give him something. It should allow him to stand up and fight a little bit longer, maybe stall out the fight by having a lot of regen on hand. But I just don't know if the follow-up's there for that sustain on the lifesteal. The burst damage just doesn't feel like it's enough. And you know, for most of these fights, Mike, we actually haven't seen the big vac waltz from Masa. It's just been pick-off games from Motivate.Trust, but they still have that big team fight tool for the high ground fights as well. The vac wall into Earth Spike, into the Boulder Smash, into the Magnetize. There's still a lot that Motivate.Trust can do, even if the pick-off game starts to slow down a bit, which I didn't really see coming true. Execration, they're gonna go for a smoke play here, Mike. Again, no buyback on Nando with that Satanic up here.
The last-ditch effort, Q has been caught out, but he's got a BKB up. He's more than happy to fight. Nando, he'll pop the rage and try. Meanwhile, Gacha, but we going, Gacha, don't hit creeps in the middle of the team fight, sir. Q is going to end up going down, but they do end up finding Vincenzo, and they'll go for more. Kimizu was already gone as well. They'll find Nando, no problem. He's popped the Satanic, though. Hookshot's there. They're going to try, but they can't. Nando is barely going to get out with his life intact. I can't say the same for Carlo, though. Bob? No, he's going to be fine. You see that, John? Gacha, he literally started hitting creeps in the middle of that team fight.
Yep. Just being efficient, Mike. You know, as a core player, you got to be very efficient on the map, find gold where you can, even mid-team fight. That's always on your mind, and Gacha Boy showing us how confident he is that he's got time to clear out the creep wave to come back in. 2 supports down for a support in the 4. Not too bad for Execration, right? So even though these kills aren't massive, Lion, Earth Spirit, not the biggest heroes to kill off, you are still stalling here in Execration. So you manage to save Anando, he backs off. You can start saving up for a buyback now, just about 500 gold away. So you should have that ready for the next team fight, but your options are just growing smaller and smaller. Roche, we're going to see its respawn in a bit. And it is a longer timer to the benefit of Execration. 3 minutes, or around 2 minutes 55 seconds there. So one of the longer ones. Unfortunate since it's a DD down bot, Mike. So tradition has been broken. No instant Roche for that, but I don't think Motivate.Trust really cares. They're still going to go.
I mean, you've got a team fight, John. I think you'd much prefer this over the Roshan right now. Nando's already popped the rage. Bob's been caught out. They've got the Hex out. They've just got so much control. Motivate.Trust, they'll go for more now. Mizu, is he okay? It looks like he won't be as the vacuums out into the 4-man Sonic Wave from Gacha Boy. And they're just cleaning up. Get the broom out, John. It's a complete sweep here from Motivate.Trust. They found the last piece of the puzzle. What a vacuum wall. Sonic Wave out from Motivate. You just go for tier 4s now. GG. I was waiting for the call, John.
Oh yeah. It was just so clean for Motivate, right? Like, they managed to go back to the Raid King. They maybe got off to a slower start in laning, you know, not as aggressive as game 1, where we were seeing a lot of movement out from a Marana, from the combination of the Ember Spirit this time around. Still lines up, and I think...
Fearless, what are you doing? My goodness. My goodness.
Fearless.
He's afraid of interviews, but he does this, John. First day of the DPC.
You know, he's been up to a lot of shenanigans since Mineski Masters, but I'm glad to see it from Fearless, showing us why he's Fearless and why he's Gotcha Boy. You never know what to expect when you roll for a Gotcha, so you never know what to expect when you open Fearless's camera. Very well played coming out for Motivate.Trust. Execration, and they kind of have the same issues as TNC, right? Like new lineup, a bit of an unknown factor with Kimizu, despite some pro experience on hand. Motivate.Trust, they've been together a long time, along with T1, kind of the same storylines in both matchups. So Motivate.Trust with the experience, with a lot of the games they've played, just managed to trump Execration. And unfortunately for Execration, they've got to get their mojo going elsewhere, Mike, as Motivate.Trust just clean up 2-0.
Absolutely. Well, with that, John, of course, we are going to head off to a short break. And right after that break, we'll be back with our lovely panel to discuss what happened in this series overall. We'll see you then.
Mate indeed. One of the partners for this broadcast. This is an energy drink. It's caffeine reimagined. It's not just a simple energy drink, indeed. And as the ad itself says, if you drink some mate, you get more day and more night. This wonderful natural energy drink allows us to stay up at ungodly hours to cast this wonderful SCA DPC. So thanks for them for partnering with us. You of course can get a 10% off by entering BTS Dota. You can head over to bts.gg/mate now, and if you enter this code, you'll get a 10% off in any purchases. You can also see a banner down below, or there's also a bot spamming this link in chat. Remember, mate, better than energy drink, better than a latte. Now, let's get into the panel. Let's talk about Dota.
Whoa.
Now that we have all this energy thanks to mate.
Yeah.
I nearly ruined that like 3 times.
You can't ruin it. It's mate.
That's so true.
Mm,
Alright, big fan. Let's go. That
But-
game was.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, opening day, SC Deep Sea Roll hype, and it's great to see these top teams deliver. But some of the teams we thought might put up a bit more of a fight. I think particularly from me, Execration didn't.
Yep, I agree. I was hopeful for Execration too, but you knew that Motivate.Trust was actually looking much better.
They just are. But I think we can say with confidence now, Clockwork was not the problem. 11 out of 13 kill participation. This guy popped off. This guy was the MVP of their team.
The real issue was Grimstroke.
It was-
9 assists. What is this?
We didn't connect the dots. Grimshaw was in game 1. He was in game 2. He's just not as good.
Yeah, but honestly, I did like the way they fixed their draft. I actually don't think the draft was the problem if we're looking at this game too, but in execution, we still saw a pretty big outclass from Motivate.Trust.
Yeah, and for me, it's less about criticizing things Execration did wrong and praising
Exactly.
Motivate.Trust. The way Q played and set the tempo for this game was just amazing. We saw that early kill mid, then he comes top. They killed the lifesteal, I think twice in lane. They're diving him under his tower. Q's Earth Spirit and the way he played around both mid and top lane was absolutely fantastic.
We talked about the potential of Earth Spirit roaming, but as you were pointing out before, that he now can be part of a kill lane and actually just stay in lane and destroy that lane.
I did say that, but then he did roam at 2 minutes into the game. I was actually completely wrong. But I think that is something that is a point, right?
Yeah.
You expect him to stay in the lane because that's what some other Earth Spirits do. But he defied the expectation. He went mid at 2 minutes. They weren't expecting it.
Yeah, usually it's the 6 minute power runes. It's never like the water rune. But I think probably the communication was so good where the mid lane was just saying like, I can zone him so that he goes for the top water rune. If you meet him there, we're gonna get ourselves a first blood.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're actually looking here as well. The hero that we didn't see much impact on, to be honest, was the Timbersaw as well.
Yeah, rough one.
He felt just kind of like he couldn't really execute what a Timbersaw usually does, which is dominate the early.
Yeah, kind of was playing from behind, which like he didn't get a terrible lane or anything. Like he got okay farm, it felt like, but just never really felt the impact. Maybe it's just not a comfort pick for Kamizu or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, it just didn't have any real play in the game.
He was able to sort of force Lifestealer away from the lane. I mean, it takes a bit of time because Lifestealer is actually pretty hard to kill as a...
Oh, you mean the Wraith King?
Sorry, Wraith King,
Yeah.
yes, my bad.
Yep.
Whoops.
That's okay.
He runs under the tower. He eventually forces him out of the lane. That's when you take the tower. That's when you kind of want to rotate your Timbersaw into mid lane to start forcing that tower. But it just felt like they were ahead on Motivate and able to kind of fight back because there was a moment where we saw Timber walk mid and try and frontline this tower and start to like pressure it for his team, and they all just came mid and they all just cast every spell. We saw everything. They literally threw everything, quap ball, the whole shebang. They didn't even end up killing him, but they repelled him from their tower. They were able to sort of stop Timber from doing what he wants to do, and that's where he loses his impact on the game.
Well, we are going to actually get some insight from the players themselves. We have an interview ready with the mid from Motivate.Trust. It's Fearless, or Gotcha Boy. Hello, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm good.
I see you were enjoying your camera a lot during these matches. You're playing games at the end, yeah. Was that a threat to us or towards the other teams that defy you?
No, it's actually just I have nothing to do, so I just do that.
Well, we enjoyed your performance very much, as we enjoyed your game as well. And I think my lovely analysts have some questions for you here.
I hear you love interviews.
No, I hate.
Why did you
It's
tweet that?
like because I knew I mean before the match started there's gonna be like my interview, like the recorded one, right?
Yes.
And then I hate it. I don't know. It's like always harder than professional games.
Wow.
Well, John was
I mean
telling me.
the interview.
Oh, God. John told me
Yeah.
that you changed your official name to Gacha Boy by mistake, but now people are saying that you're actually gonna keep the name. Why is that?
I mean it wasn't I mean partially mistake, I would say, because like I wanted to use it, then like 1 hour later I don't want to use it anymore. Yeah.
Is it an official name now? Do you want us to call you Gotcha Boy now?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
Catch a boy.
Gotcha Boy. Nice.
It's obviously a great start for you. We watched your interview. You talked about you want to make it to the major. I'm curious, how do you feel like your team is performing right now? You look, from our perspective, you guys played very well during the Mineski Masters, the tournament before this. Do you feel like your team is ready to compete for the top spots here in the SEA DPC League?
I would say we're not too much, ready yet, but we will be ready before we play against like top teams like T1, Fnatic, and Boom, I think.
Yeah. Those seem to be the three teams on a lot of people's mouth right now as maybe the top teams of the region. Obviously, you guys had the crazy finals against Boom. I'm curious, what do you think of the new Fnatic and Boom rosters?
I think Boom's looking so strong right now. I cannot say about Fnatic because like we haven't seen them play yet. But I would say they have like very strong mid lane, Armel.
I'm curious as to your preparation coming into this DPC. When did you guys start like scrimming and practicing weekly and stuff like that?
Yeah, we do like weekly stuff. I mean,
Did you ever stop?
scrim
Did you
like
ever take
five times. No. We haven't take a break yet.
Okay. Interesting.
And what was watching TI like for you and having this kind of period, a bit of a downtime in like the official Valve tournaments? Were you just watching Team Spirit win TI? Does that like motivate you even more, or like what was your experience watching TI?
I feel kind of sad, I think, but I mean it motivated me also. But at first I was sad, like I could have been here or something.
Yeah.
If I did better in TI qualifiers. So yeah, it's motivated me.
Next TI, bro. We believe in you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
So before we let you go, I just want to ask you, how many heroes do you have in Grandmaster tier?
Oh, Grandmaster?
Yeah, like the top level, like the level 30 heroes.
Wait, I'm checking. Maybe 2 or 3.
How much? That's so much.
Yeah, it's 3. It's Storm Spirit, Ember, and Windwalker.
Okay, well, you just revealed your strats, bro. I'm so sorry. Well, you heard it, guys. That's a true grinder. 3 heroes at level 30. Thank you so much for your time.
I have Park and Invoker 79 also.
Okay.
29. Wow. Your
Wow.
pop's only 23, so you gotta grind a bit more there maybe.
Yeah, you need more time.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you very
Maybe
much.
tomorrow. Okay.
Thank you very much for your time here, Liz. Gotcha, boy. It's a pleasure having you. I'm sure we'll have you here again. I know you hate interviews, but I know you love winning. So.
Wait, if you hate it, did none of your teammates do the interviews then? Since you hate them, you can't convince them.
Yeah, I had everyone. I mean, I had losing to Paper Sisters and like, what was it called? Paper Sister and okay, what? I'm gonna get that. Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're good.
Don't
Don't
worry
worry.
about
I appreciate the time. It's great to talk to you, Feelers.
Yes. We'll see you around, Fearless. Thank you very much, man. We
Good
appreciate
luck
it.
in the next match.
Okay.
Good luck next match.
Bye, man. Sorry, I made that awkward. That was on me.
You just
It's
ruined the
fine.
interview,
No,
man.
it's-
Yeah.
No, it
Messed
has
up.
nothing to do with
I-
you. You know, it's just I wanted to keep him longer,
Yeah.
and I just didn't want to say goodbye. I'm sorry.
I went to call his teammates. I was like, he doesn't want to do the interviews. I was like, get your teammates on. We'll talk to them too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was you trying to say peer pressure. Maybe they're like
yeah. Oh, okay.
that.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know.
Well, that's what's amazing. Is like for all these players, like English is not going to be their first language for majority of SCA players, and they
Yes.
come on do these interviews with us, and let us get to know a bit more about them. So definitely very much appreciate it.
Always wonderful. They have such good characters as well. Most
Yeah.
of these players, so it's always nice to meet them more. I mean, this guy.
He's hated interviews for like 2 years. I remember, I think it was a ESL broadcast like 2 years ago where he came on to interview and he said the same thing. He's like, "Let me just play Dota. Interviews are harder than playing Dota," and he's still saying the same thing 2 years later.
Yes,
so
yes.
apparently they don't get any easier, but he's fantastic as ever.
Yeah, well, wait till he gets eliminated from TI. That's
Yeah,
I'm an expert on that one. Well, we saw this team actually do really well here, and it's looking like a pretty great season for Motivate.Trust. But I want to concentrate as well on the losers. Of course I do. Execration. What do you think we should be seeing from them in this next season? What should they be working on as we saw the first match, Sheeple?
It's just more experience, playing together more, doing more as a team. They'll have replays like this now to look at to help them get stronger. It's just about playing these better teams and then learning what you can from it. Clearly they have their own confidence in their drafts. Like, we were criticizing Clock, but they kept rolling with it. It didn't even do badly this game, right? So as long as they just refine those ideas and keep getting better, I think that those ideas that they have confidence in will then start to have bigger payoff.
Here, in case you missed the first match of the day, we have the standings for you.
Whoa.
T1 won 2-0 against DNC Predator for the first match of the day, and then, of course, we just watched Motivate.Trust 2-0 Execration. Therefore, they have 1 point each. That is usually how group stages work. So we also have tomorrow's schedule for you guys, so you can keep tuned with the season. And there's only going to be a single match, at least for the SCA. It's going to be OB Neon versus Boom Esports. But if you want to tune in for our EEU broadcast, which I definitely recommend, we're going to have Gambit versus Team Empire, and then Navi versus PuckChamp. The second match is hype. I recommend it as a EEU fanatic.
it's not. I feel like these are two of like the regions that are just going to have a lot of crazy games, crazy Dota, and just really competitive where, you've got a few, maybe 2, 3, 4 teams who are like the favorites. Like, the names that we saw the players mentioning in interviews in Eastern Europe. You've got your, Team Spirit, obviously, your VPs. But even those teams lower down can still surprise you and bring like a lot of kind of skill to the table. So looking forward to Eastern Europe as well.
Well, it's been wonderful watching the SCA teams today, and I can't wait to start again and do the same thing tomorrow and the
Let's
day after,
go.
and for the next 6 weeks.
We're not going to see the sun for
Who needs sun when you have the sea? As we say goodbye to this broadcast, I hope you enjoyed the panels and the games as well. We will see you guys tomorrow, similar time in this very channel for more. Until then, guys, good night.
Good night.